Role queue is not coming to Marvel Rivals, not yet anyway. Hello everybody and welcome to the channel, I'm Stylosa. So, we've got an update here from the actual game developers, and let's just get straight into this. Right now, we're not considering a role queue. Guang Shen says, who is Marvel Rivals creative director. The team's goal is to offer a wide variety of team composition through team-up skills and their own designs to let people play their Marvel rival superheroes rather than limiting players to choosing a role. NetEase has said in the past it doesn't see its roles as traditional compared to other hero shooters like Overwatch, as characters in Rivals can do multiple things well. This latest info just reiterates that feeling. From the data we're seeing in our back end, things are going pretty solid, Chen said. We want people to have a Marvel experience where they're free to select what they want. Since the closed beta test, things have been rational within expectations, I should say. In our competitive play recently, there is a lot of different compositions emerging from players, and we'd like to continue to monitor these fun compositions and how they impact our game. Right then, let's get into this, because this is role queue, and this is... Does the game need role queue? Doesn't it need role queue? What the hell do I think? Do you even care what I think? What do you guys think? I just want to know, right? So, right now, I'm going to say this. The game is in a very early stage. It's in a stage that is very fluid in terms of whatever the defined meta is. However, if you've been playing the game like I've been playing the game, you're probably noticing there are certain things that are starting to happen, right? So, certain team comps, you're going to be noticing certain types of hero, let's say, class makeups in the team comps, right? More often than not, you do see 2-2-2. You will generally see 1-3-2. You always kind of see two strategists. If you've got one strategist on your team, you generally start to worry. If you've got 5 duelists and no tank, you generally start to worry. These are things which are happening that I'm seeing in the game right now. But I want to say this, and I'm going to throw out quite a few things here. So, the game does have hero bans at higher ranks. There is potential for this to be moved down to lower ranks as time goes on. Maybe that's something the devs will do. They also have that additional tuning knob of the team-up abilities, which will change from season to season, and of course they can introduce new ones, and they can give you a different dynamic to the team build or the team comp element. But I think there is a massive issue here with the differentiation of competitive and quick play. Like, what is competitive? And the more I look at this, the more I'm just seeing the same arguments popping up from back in 2016, 2017 Overwatch, before that game had role queue. And it is, well, competitive. You go in there to play to win. You do whatever it takes to win. You don't one-trick a hero. You're flexible. You're looking to play a bunch of heroes. You're basically looking to go, what does my team need? How can I fill that gap? What is the enemy team playing? How can I select a hero that will beat the enemy team? But there is one sort of big issue here, isn't there? Generally, people think I am the best player, and therefore I'm going to play my hero and carry the team. I don't care what the team are doing, so I'm just going to pick Moon Knight every single game, or Iron Man every single game, or whatever, right? And I'm sure we've all been guilty of that. When things are not going great, generally people go, right, screw this, I'm just going to pick a hero and throw the match effectively, or I'm just going to have fun my own way. The issue I've got with all of this is competitive and quick play are different. Quick play, it's fine just having whatever selection available all the time. I think that's fine, right? Competitive, I also think it's fine for comp if you're going in with the mindset, and maybe this is just a utopian ideal from me of I'm here to win and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win, and that doesn't mean just throwing the game in spawn because nobody's going to play tank and nobody's playing strategist. Now obviously there are outliers to this where you could just have 5 duelists lock in, and then it's like, well, what do? Do you play tank or strategist? Well, you probably play strategist and just hope for the best. Can you still win? Probably. It's going to be rough though, because you're going to have no front line. So there's all these issues that start compounding together. And yeah, right now, I think the game is fine without a role queue, but maybe it will need one in the future. I don't know. But what I don't want it to do is to just copy Overwatch in that regard and go, here you go, here's a role queue. Because they do have those additional things of the hero ban system, which has been in the game since launch, and the team abilities, which they can look at and change, which might give us a different way of playing the game. And also, it isn't to say that, you know, having 2 vanguards on your team and 2 strategists is the team comp. Maybe there's a world where there's only 1 vanguard and 1 strategist and the rest are duelists. We don't really know at the moment. Everything is still a little bit all over the place. You know, I think even in competitive, you play games and they feel wildly different. It doesn't matter what rank you're at. It can feel like you've got a great team comp, but maybe the enemy team are throwing. It can feel, you know, just all over the place. It's very scattershot. But I do think what the game's nailing at the moment is it is really fun to play whatever hero you're playing. And that's a good place to start off with. So I think, yeah, this is a complex issue. There is also something else to look at with this, is the size of the player base. Now, this is a big positive for the game because they could easily facilitate a role queue and a non-role queue, so like an open queue, very similar to what Overwatch does, if they wanted to. I don't think that would impact the player's experience that much. I think looking at what the dev has been saying here, it's basically they want you to be able to play whatever Marvel hero you want to play at any time. And it's almost like they're sort of ignoring what comp is, or the idea of comp being, you know, like I said, you're going in there to win. You're not just going to say, I'm going to play Magneto every game, I don't care what's going to happen. Because maybe you end up with a team with loads of Vanguards, but then maybe that's a good team comp. See, this is the issue, right? The game isn't developed enough for me to sit here and go, well, you've lost the game if you've only got one Vanguard, or you're going to win the game if you've got 3 Vanguards, 1 strategist, and 2 duelists. You know, like, I can't tell you what the optimal team comp is. We can look at the top players at the moment. We can look at some of the, I can't really call it esports, but some of the competitive games that have been played. I guess maybe a scrim scenario, or with the little tournament system in the game. And yeah, you can see certain team comps, but again, it's very early days. You go back and look at Overwatch, look at the way the meta evolved in that game without role queue. Things changed a lot all of the time. And yeah, also, there's one thing I haven't spoken about here. That is balance. That is straight up just balance. The devs can balance heroes as well. Change their abilities, change the, you know, the amount of damage heroes do, and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of things they can look at. But right now, they're not going to add role queue to the game. So I want you in the comments below to let me know what you think about that. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Are you sick to death of playing the game in competitive and people are just literally throwing because they won't swap? They won't play another hero. You know, I've seen them in game. We've all seen them, right? This is what happens with multiplayer games. You get this, right? You get idiots, you get trolls, you get toxic players. They won't swap. They want to do whatever they want to do. They've, you know, paid their money for the skins, so they're going to play Iron Man regardless of whatever you say. You know, that kind of thing, right? Is there a way around it? Do you think the game needs role queue? Let me know in the comments below. Now, there is something else we need to talk about, and this is PlayStation, and this is quite a big topic. So keeping it on .esports, Marvel Rivals dev confirms cross-progression is in the works, but platform rules remain a barrier. So what the hell does this mean? Well, take a look at this. So again, this is from Guang Shen, and he says that cross-progression involves a lot of platform-specific rules. We're still looking at it and how to solve it. So what does this mean? And then he says once the team is ready and once we've figured it out, we'll be sharing to everyone, and players will be the first to know. So obviously, cross-progression is just essentially you've got all your unlocks available on whatever platform you play the game, right? So if you're playing on PC and you bought a load of skins, well, then you can play on your PlayStation and it's fine. You've got all of your skins available. The problem is it doesn't work with PlayStation because check this out. So this is taken from Tom Warren, who is the editor-in-large at... I've totally forgot. The Verge. There we go. Sorry. Apologies, Tom. But this was actually leaked a while ago, and he says this: Sony also has a cross-play revenue share agreement where some partners had to pay a royalty to Sony to offset the reduction in revenue from enabling cross-play. So what this is if you buy a cosmetic item, a micro-transaction on Steam or a platform that isn't PlayStation, and then you've got cross-platform progression enabled on PlayStation, if I then go and log into my PlayStation account, I've got access to those skins. But wait, they haven't been bought through the PSN. So this means you haven't used the PlayStation Store, so Sony doesn't get their cut. So what Sony does is says, no, you need to pay us fees based on a whole host. You can see some of them on the screen there, but based on a whole host of factors to make up for this loss. Now, there are games out there which have got an agreement with Sony. Now, I think some of these games are so big that Sony just need them. You know, we're looking at games like Fortnite, right? Sony is not going to say, you can't have cross-progression in Fortnite, go away. It's one of the biggest games in the world. They need it on their platform, and so they have come to an agreement. I'm sure they have. Now, this is probably what's going on behind the scenes with Rivals and with Sony, trying to work out some sort of a deal which isn't too expensive for Rivals. And yeah, I think we will see this come at some point. Probably fairly soon as well, because cross-progression is a really big thing to have in the game, and it's just great for players all around, because you don't want to be rebuying stuff on different platforms. That just makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, so big news. All right, guys, so there you go. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this, then like the video, subscribe to the channel because that helps an absolute ton. But I still want to know what you think about roll queue in this game. Like I've said throughout the video, I think at the moment it is kind of okay that it isn't there in the game. I think they've got other options when it comes to actually balancing the game and sort of incentivizing players to form team comps. But on the other hand, there's a lot of games that are getting thrown in spawn. And how will they fix this? Let me know in the comments below. What would you do? What do you want to see the devs doing? Is this a big win or is it a massive L? All right, guys, I'll catch you lovely lot on the next video. See you soon.